Hello and welcome to the 128th episode of Rivers Arcade Review. My name is Ed. My channel is dedicated to the coin-operated video games of yesteryear. Today I'm doing a viewer request. Today's game was requested by the viewer Pac-Man Fan 2008, and the game they requested was Pac-Land. Pac-Land was released in 1984 by Namco and licensed to Midway. My first time playing this game was at Western Trails Mini Golf and Arcade in Oak Lawn, Illinois. Pac-Land is a side-scrolling adventure game in which you control Pac-Man with 3 buttons, 2 for left and right movement and 1 to jump. You need to guide Pac-Man through a series of obstacles throughout his journey through his hometown of Pac-Land. Your Pac-Man character has been given a complete makeover for this game. Pac-Man will now have a full face as well as arms and legs. He will also be wearing gloves and boots as well as a hat, although the hat will be different for the Japan release, although it won't affect gameplay. This game's graphics and music were based on the Pac-Man Saturday morning cartoon by Hanna Barbara. Pressing the right directional button will move Pac-Man to the right, and pressing the left directional button will move Pac-Man to the left. By repeatedly tapping the directional buttons, you will cause Pac-Man to run faster than just holding the button down. Pressing the jump button will cause Pac-Man to jump. Jumping while running will cause Pac-Man to jump higher. The game begins with the level select screen. You are able to choose between trips 1 through 5, although management has the ability to turn off the trip select. Choosing a higher trip will award you extra points. You need to clear the entire trip to receive the bonus points. Each trip will consist of 4 rounds. Trip 1 will begin with Pac-Man leaving his house. You need to move Pac-Man to the right to move through Pac-Land in order to reach the Magic Garden. Along the way you will encounter the ghost monsters. The ghosts will be Blinky, who is red, Inky, who is blue, Pinky, who is pink, Clyde, who is orange, and Sue, who is purple. You need to avoid these ghost monsters because if one touches you, you will lose a life, although there is a new twist. If you jump on top of one of the ghost monsters, you will safely ride on top of them until either you move off or you hit an obstacle. Getting knocked off a ghost will not cost you a life, but you could be knocked off into another ghost that will cost you a life. One new item for a Pac-Man game is rounds are timed. At the bottom of the playfield will be 10 yellow circles. One by one, they will slowly disappear like the death scene from the original Pac-Man. Each circle will have 5 different positions or units before disappearing. The speed that the circles disappear is based on management difficulty settings. On the easiest setting, it will take 5 1/3 seconds for each circle to disappear, and on the hardest setting, each circle will disappear every 3 1/3 seconds. Once all the yellow circles disappear, Sue will speed up and chase you down, and if she contacts you, you will lose a life. If you are able to clear the round before Sue catches you, you will not lose a life. The first round will take place in a cityscape where you'll come across a series of fire hydrants that you will need to jump over. Contacting one of these hydrants will not cost you a life, although it will cause you to lose time. Landing on the top of one of these hydrants will cause bonus items to appear. You can collect these bonus items for extra points. During the first part of the round, the ghost monsters will be driving cars trying to catch you, although Sue will not be driving the cars or other vehicles during this game. You're able to land safely on top of the car and right on top of it, but if one of these cars contacts you, you will lose a life. Twice during this round there will be a large Energizer pill. Eating the Energizer will turn all the ghost monsters a dark purple, making them vulnerable to Pac-Man. In addition to the color change, the vehicles the ghosts were controlling will disappear. Once the ghost monsters are purple, you can eat them for extra points. The timer will also freeze while you have Energizer power. After you pass the first Energizer, the ghost monsters will now be flying in planes. The entire time that they are in the planes, they will be dropping smaller versions of themselves downward, trying to knock out Pac-Man. You need to avoid or jump these mini-ghosts because if one contacts you, you will lose a life. You do have a defense against the mini-ghosts. Once you jump over the 4th fire hydrant, you can push it to the left, and if you move it enough, your hat will change to a helmet. While wearing the helmet, if a mini-ghost contacts you, it will be destroyed and you will earn extra points. You will still be vulnerable to the full-size ghost while wearing the helmet. Once you pass the 5th hydrant, you will reach a sign saying break time. Once you reach the sign, gameplay will temporarily stop and you will earn bonus points for remaining time on your meter. You'll also get a bonus if Pac-Man jumps just before the break and is still midair when the game stops. You will get the most points at the round ends while Pac-Man is on his way down from the jump but is still midair when the round ends. After the break, your new obstacles will be cactuses. These obstacles will act the same as the hydrants and won't cost you a life if you run into one, although you'll still be vulnerable if one stops you and you hit a ghost monster. Now the ghosts will be in flying saucers. They will not only fly at you, but they will also move up and down, making it hard to evade them. Once you make it past the ghosts and the flying saucers, you will enter a wooded area. This section will have tree stumps that will block your path. The path you take will sometimes be behind trees, causing you blind spots. During this portion of the game, the ghosts will be on pogo sticks while they try to chase you down. There will be a second energizer just before the end of the round. Just like before, the pogo sticks that the ghost monsters were on will disappear and you can turn the tables by eating the ghosts. Once you leave the wooded area, you will have another break time and receive bonus points for time remaining. Round 3 will begin with the moving bridge section. The bridges will be made of spinning logs. These logs will spin backwards and will cause you to move backwards, and if you are not careful, you will fall off, costing you a life. The bridges will also move up and down, giving you a greater challenge. You will face 3 sets of 2 log bridges before you face the falling bridge. One by one, the logs will begin falling downward, causing gaps in the bridge. You need to run and jump over these gaps to make it safely to the other side. In addition to the bridges, you will be attacked by ghost monsters in planes. After passing the bridges, you will need to pass 7 more cactuses along with ghost monsters dropping minis once again. After the cactuses, you will face an even harder challenge. Now you need to use a springboard to jump high and far enough to jump over a lake. To make the distance, you need to jump off the edge of the springboard and then repeatedly press the run button to keep from falling into the water. If you fall into the water, you will lose a life. After clearing the lake, you will pass another energizer dot. Shortly after passing the dot, you will come upon a door. Entering the door will bring you to the magical garden. Once you reach the garden, a fairy will appear from under your hat and will award you a magic pair of shoes that will give you the ability to make higher jumps to make it easier to move through the obstacles. After the break, you will now need to make it home. You will face similar obstacles that you passed on the original path, although many have been removed. Now the cactuses will be taller, although having the shoes will make it easier to jump over them. The ghost monsters will once again be flying in planes trying to catch you. You'll once again face the falling and spinning bridges as well as the hydrants in the cityscape. You'll get 1 energizer dot in the middle of the cityscape to give you the ability to turn the tables and eat the ghosts. Once you pass the cityscape, where you'll be greeted by your wife Pepper, Pac Baby, Chomp Chomp your dog, and Sourpuss your cat. Reaching home will once again award you bonus points, and the game will continue at a harder difficulty. Trip 2 will once again begin with the cityscape, although now the ghost monsters will be driving double-decker buses. There will be 2 mini ghosts in the top of the buses, and contacting the bus anywhere other than the roof will cause you to lose a life. In addition, Inky will be hiding in the upper windows of the building, ready to drop a mini ghost on top of you. Just like before, you need to avoid these mini ghosts unless you are wearing the helmet. Once again, there will be an energizer dot just before the end of the round. Once you pass the cityscape, you will receive another break time. Just like before, you will receive bonus points based on how much time you have left. Round 6 will consist of the ghosts on pogo sticks, planes, as well as 3 lakes you will need to use springboards to jump across. Round 7 will bring a new twist. This round will be a series of platforms you need to maneuver through. You'll need to guide Pac-Man across 3 floors of platforms and not allow him to fall in the water, because falling in the water will cost you a life. Running off a platform will allow you to safely land on the platform below unless you fall into the water. You'll need to use a running jump to change platforms because the standard jump won't give you enough height. There will also be hydrants to block your path. In addition to the obstacles, there will be water geysers that will spray upward, blocking all floors. Although initially these geysers won't harm you, if you are in one or on one when it goes down, it will pull you into the water, costing you a life. Near the end of the platforms, a ship will appear on the top platform. Collecting the ship will extend several of the platforms, making it easier to jump the gaps. Clearing the platforms will once again bring you to the door to the magical garden, where you will once again earn the magic shoes. After receiving the shoes, you will once again need to return home. This time you'll need to pass an extra large lake, the wooded section, all while being chased by ghost monsters in planes and on pogo sticks. Once again, reaching your home, you will be greeted by your family. Trip 3 will begin with round 9, consisting of driving ghosts as well as a large lake you will need to jump over. The lake will have a small island with a springboard that you need to use since you can't clear the lake on a single jump. After the lake, you will simultaneously face ghosts in planes and spaceships. Once you pass the ghost and a single cactus, you will come across an empty field with a skull on the ground. Just before the skull, the ground will be quicksand which you can't run across, but you must jump it. If you sink into the quicksand or the skull contacts you, you will lose a life. After the quicksand, you will face more ghosts in spaceships and on pogo sticks. Round 10 will be another wooded section and even more ghosts in spaceships and on pogo sticks. Round 11 will consist of more spinning and broken bridges, although now there will be clouds between several of the mountain edges. These clouds will move in a predictable pattern so you can time your jumps off of them. After the clouds, you will face 2 more sets of spinning bridges. After the bridges, you will face more ghosts in spaceships and on pogo sticks before reaching the door to the garden. After the garden, you will face more ghosts in planes and on pogo sticks, as well as a giant lake to cross. After the lake, you'll face another cityscape before reaching home and your family. Trip 4 will begin with round 13, which is another cityscape, although now the fire hydrants will be stacked too high. Also, the fire hydrants will be shooting water jets out of them. Although these water jets are not harmful themselves, they will push your character until you either jump or hit an obstacle. It is possible for the water jets to push you into a ghost monster, costing you a life. Reaching the end of the cityscape will bring you to round 14, which is the cavern level, although now there will be locked doors that you need to find the keys to unlock in order to clear the round. Round 15 will be another platform level with water jets. Clearing round 15 will bring you back to the door to the garden. 16 will require you to pass through the same sections that had the clouds before, but the clouds will be gone. Also, you need to pass through the spinning bridges, all while dealing with the ghosts and planes. After the bridges, you need to pass through another wooded section before reaching home. Trip 5, which is round 17, will consist of ghosts on pogo sticks, spaceships, as well as in planes. While dealing with the ghosts, you need to deal with the large lake and springboards before heading into the wooded area. Just before the wood's end, there will be a springboard you need to use to jump over another lake, followed by an area of quicksand and skulls. Round 18 will consist of more spinning bridges and clouds you need to cross, all while dealing with ghosts and planes. Round 19 will be another cavern, although now it will be dark and you have limited vision to a simulated headlamp on Pac-Man. This lamp will give you a small field of vision. On this level you will also have to collect keys to open the doors. Round 20 will consist of wooded areas as well as lakes you need to jump over. After round 20 the game will continue with harder obstacles and faster ghost monsters. Scoring for the game is as follows. You'll earn 100 points every 3.5 seconds when you are walking and 100 points for every 2.5 seconds when you are running. You will earn these points in 10-point increments anytime you are moving, even moving in place against an obstacle. After eating an Energizer dot, you will earn 200 points for eating the first ghost monster, 400 points for eating the second, 800 points for eating the third, 1600 for eating the fourth, and 3200 for eating the fifth. If you can eat 6 or more ghost monsters, you will earn 7,650 points each. You will earn 300 points for defeating a mini-ghost while you are wearing the helmet. Eating a blue mini-ghost will award you the same number of points as eating a normal blue ghost. You'll earn bonus points for beginning and completing higher trips. You'll earn 30,000 points for completing Trip 2, 100,000 points for completing Trip 3, 180,000 points for completing Trip 4, and 300,000 points for completing Trip 5. The bonuses for the Japan ROM will be 50,000 points for completing Trip 2, 150,000 points for Trip 3, 250,000 points for Trip 4, and 400,000 points for Trip 5. You'll earn 100 points per unit on the clock for completing each round. You'll also earn bonus points if your character is mid-air from a jump when the round ends. You'll earn between 10 and 7,650 points based on what part of the jump you are in. The closer you are to landing when the round ends, the higher the bonus, and the closer to the beginning of the jump, the less points you will earn. You will also earn a 1,000 point bonus for entering the door to the garden. You will earn progressive bonus points for collecting the fruit targets. You earn 100 points for the first cherry, 300 points for the second, 500 points for the third, and 1,000 points for the fourth. You will earn 300 points for the first strawberry, 500 points for the second, 1,000 points for the third, and 1,500 points for the fourth. You will earn 500 points for the first peach, 1,000 points for the second, 1,500 points for the third, and 2,000 points for the fourth. You'll earn 1,000 points for the first apple, 1,500 points for the second, 2,000 points for the third, and 2,500 points for the fourth. After collecting the fourth fruit, scoring will return to the lowest and then increase as before. I really like this game and would highly recommend it whether in an arcade setting or on an emulator. I like this game more than Hangly Man, but not as much as Blasteroids, so Pac-Land runs into the 42nd position overall. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any games you'd like me to review, please leave a message below or on my homepage. Please remember to hit like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned to new videos every Sunday.